Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're going to get ready to get started on this week's live call here. So I'm going to wait till some of you get locked and loaded, and then we will get started. What's up, Jason? What's up, David? What is happening? What is happening? We're going to be talking about freedom today. We're going to be talking about freedom. Let's get some more of you. Let's get some more of you in here into the CEO Warrior world here, and then we'll get all ready. What's up, Anthony? Nice to see you. Yeah, we're going to talk about freedom a little bit. That's going to be our subject today. I'm sitting in my manager, Joe T's office here, which actually was my office going on probably 5 years ago now. This was my office. So yeah, it feels a little weird to be sitting in here, but kind of cool too. Because, I remember that decision. And, it's going to be kind of cool. That's going to be part of our conversation. Let me write that down here. Office. It's going to be kind of an interesting conversation about office. I'll tell you why I'm in here today. Well, I went into the big room, the big war room, and they're working on it for next week because we got our 4-day Fast Track Academy. So I think we have 70 plus something people coming in, all the way from, we have a couple people coming from New Zealand, and I think we got Canada, all over the United States. So they're running extension cords, doing all that. So then I said, well, I'll go in the back room, and I was like, well, maybe that's going to feel weird, like sitting in a closet with all the stuff. So Rob's in the conference room working on a project right now. So I was like, Joe T was dealing with something, I'll occupy his office. So it's kind of weird how that, isn't it kind of interesting how that happened? Like, I'm going to talk about freedom, and sitting in this office is part of the thing that gave me freedom. So let me get a couple more people in here, and then we'll talk. We're not going to be on super long today, maybe about 20 minutes or so. But I'm definitely here to help you, guide you, educate you, give you some strategies, and maybe some of the wisdoms that I learned along the way for freedom, and see if I could help you guys out some today on a Friday where it's clearing up a little bit. So we'll get some more of you in here. When you get in, give me a big old boom or something. Let me know what's going on, where you're checking in from, if it's New Jersey or some part of the world. So I know where you're at, what you're up to, what are you doing? And then we'll get started here in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes we'll get started. It's a pretty convenient vehicle if you're not using. What's up, Glenn? What's up, Rodney? A lot of warriors in the house here. If you're not using Facebook Live, it's just really, really darn convenient. I mean, I wish they had like a notice everyone, because that would just be cool. I would just hit that bad boy and it would just fly out there, right? We would just get everybody, like I would just be popping up on everybody's thing at one time. So that would be kind of cool function. But there is a function to do this from your computer, and I'm just not there to do that today. That's all. So I got my phone stood up here. Yeah, Matt, what's up? Texas, represent. We got brother Tony from New Jersey, Diamond Electric, shine on. We were talking about his badass car. Me and Rob the other day were talking about his car the other day. He's got this car that's like a like a jet engine, this damn car. So we were talking about the other day. So welcome, Brother Tony, to today's Friday call. Who else we got here? Seattle Warrior. Boom, what's up, Ryan? Reno, what's up? Nice to see everybody. It's like, you know, we're like gangs and stuff. We're like, we're here to represent. You know what I mean? Like, where are you from? Jersey. Forget about it. All right? It's like everybody's here to represent their power today. Wouldn't that be cool? It's like old school, right? Let's just go like, gonna go represent and like scrap it out in the backyard or something. So, all right, cool. Let's go. Oh, okay, we could get started now, Mom, because my mom's on. And so I wasn't going to get started until my mom jumped on to watch this. But now that she's here, now we can get started. Because that's all I'm looking for is recognition from my mom to say how amazing I am. And then once she says that, I'm just going to hang up on everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Savannah, what's up? Representing triple service. Yeah, why? Because your parents are away, goofing around, having a good time. So let's talk about freedom a little bit. Freedom's an interesting thing. I mean, I think kind of freedom and happiness go hand in hand. And if you kind of think of that as the way I used to explain freedom is to do what you want, where you want, with who you want, without any worries or restraints for time or money, right? That's like the ultimate freedom. Now, some people, I remember my son one time saying to me, and I'm not saying you should do this, I just want to maybe give you a little example to think about, is that look at that homeless guy there. You know, why does he choose that? Like almost like it was a bad thing he was homeless. And I was like, well, first off, we don't know his situation, right? And I told him, I said, I wonder, you know, is he really in pain or is he really free? I mean, that's really a question. Now, I think some of them are probably in pain and they probably have problems and addictions and different things. What's up, Eric Corbett, another longtime warrior in the house? But then it got me thinking, like, what if he's free? You know, because when you look at people today, you know, most of the problems they have is putting pressure on themselves. I mean, I live a pretty conservative life. You know, I have a Lincoln Navigator and a 2-story basic colonial house, and you know, I live a simple life. But the one thing I've always made sure of, what's up, Linda? What's up, Jeremiah? I've made sure that I owned things didn't own me. And a lot of people get their freedom taken away because things own them. So it's nice to have those things as long as you can have them without the pressures of them. And when you look at all these individual pressures, I just want you to think of freedom, right? And what is something, and if you were to, and you guys, just so you know, like when you hit thumbs up or fist or like, I don't know, can you throw a grenade or something, then I'll know that you hear me and what's going on. So I want you to, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas here, so we'll keep it here. But I mean, if there was something right now you knew that was sucking your freedom away. Now I'm going to give you something, you know, years ago when Rob and I, we had a third partner who was here. And so I'll make no comments on that third partner, even though I normally do. But, you know, we had a third partner. And one thing is when we got rid of the third partner and he moved on to better pastures, I said to Rob, like, you know, freedom for us is not a square box with a, you know, square seat and a square desk and a square ass sitting in the square seat. What's up, AJ? And so I said to Rob, you know, let's give up our offices. So this is the office I used to be in, and it's a pretty badass office here. This is actually the best office if you're going to take one. So this is Joe T's office. So he's got all kinds of KPIs, and he's got, yep, that's when we went shooting, and he's got, you could always tell an office in the gold medal building for warriors because, you know, there's like a samurai sword that he got, and check that out, Anthony. And there's like a badass, like whatever that is, 3-foot long wrench. And he has all kinds of certificates and arrows that he broke on his neck. So everyday stuff for working at the gold medal. But one of the things for me was freedom was I realized that with technology, I didn't need to stay in a certain place. I could be mobile, and I wanted to have a business that did not have me as a hostage to a place, but also a place that I would let people grow and expand and be able to be more powerful for themselves. So lesson one that I would tell you, what's up, Justin, is first, let's put a clarity around what is freedom. I mean, some people, freedom is I'm home by 10 o'clock at night, I'm freedom. Some people it's 5 o'clock. Some people freedom is never work a weekend. Some people's freedom is work a couple days. But in the end, what you want to do is you want to identify what is freedom, because you can't get what you're not clear about, right? I mean, it's very hard to go and get something, accomplish something, if you're not laser clear. If you can't see yourself in that future, it's very hard to go there. So number one, maybe write this down real quick. Write down, what does freedom look like? What's the perfect, and you hear a lot of people talk about it, they're like, what is the perfect day, right? And if I could identify the perfect day, waking up at maybe 9 in the morning and having a great breakfast, and, some people go golfing, and, what is that perfect day? And then the goal is get that perfect day and then start to replicate it, right? Is this making sense? Tell me what you heard so far. What made sense so far? Type it in, because I need to make sure you're listening. And then we'll talk about, once I get some feedback, we'll talk about some other things here about freedom. Give me some insight. What's the big thing that you picked up so far? And then we'll jump right into, so let's just do it now, right? Because I have a bunch of content I want to deliver, information, and I don't want to hold us back on it. Freedom, yeah, Jason. So as I started to think of freedom, I started to think the roadblock to freedom was not the things, was not the people, was not the customers. It was none of this for freedom, Matt. The biggest thing that I started to get about freedom was I had to have freedom in my mind, right? I had to have freedom in my mind. But it's tough to have freedom inside your mind when you're getting tackled, punched in the face, choked out by life's complications, right? So, you're dealing with relationship issues or health issues or children issues, or, you're dealing with all these different things, and you can't have freedom when you don't have freedom of your mind and freedom of the thought, right? Freedom of the thought. Now let's talk about what holds back this freedom of getting anything, okay? Of accomplishing anything. And Justin said, you're in charge of your life. You have to be proud of the man in the mirror. That's right, the man in the mirror. So when I kind of think of freedom, I think of, well, what is the resistance? Okay, what's the roadblock? What's the pit I'm in? What's the pattern that keeps coming up? And so if I kind of think of myself and I'm like, okay, well, let me think. What is the thing that's holding me hostage from freedom, which a lot of times is happiness, right? I mean, if you're really, really happy, you're probably really, really free. If anything, you're free of your mind. So ask yourself right now and type it in. Like, what is one of the things that is stealing your freedom today? Type it in. Let's see what you got here. So we could start to brainstorm and tackle some individual things. Michelle, what's up? Another warrior in the house, female warrior. Eric, what's happening? Nice to see you today. Thanks for jumping on. So we're putting down right now, what is one thing right now that is stealing your freedom? It's taking it away. You feel like it's holding you back. It's not giving you freedom to do what you want, where you want, with who you want, without any worries or restraints about time and money. Fear. Yeah. That's a great thing. Let me teach you guys about fear real quick. And look, everybody, I'm not an enlightened being, so I didn't wake up and Buddha's hand touched me and I was like, and I had all the information. That would be kind of cool, right? It'd be really badass though. But it's because I went through all this and I've recognized my own roadblocks, and I still deal with a bunch of them on a regular basis. So let's look at fear, right? And if you break out fear as F-E-A-R, it's false evidence appearing real. Now, a lot of you might have heard that before. Maybe you read a book and you're like, oh yeah, Mike, that's great. Everybody knows that. But here's the question, Brian. Does everybody know that fear is predicting a future that never happened? I mean, that's the reality of it, right? I mean, if I'm afraid of something, well, I'm afraid of something that never even happened yet. So it's kind of like it's self-sabotaging behavior, okay? Matt says his phone. Yeah, I get. Tell me a little more about the phone. Is it, because it's not the phone. I want to teach you guys something and why you guys think of fear. And I want to teach you something today I learned a long time ago on how to solve problems. It's a philosophy from Mitsubishi. I don't know if they're the first ones that developed it, but that's where I got the knowledge from. So as you think about fear, this false evidence appearing real, I kind of ask myself the consequence of two paths, right? So I kind of draw this, right? I kind of draw the why, right? The why. Well, I guess that looked good for most men and very inappropriate for everybody else. So as I'm thinking about the why, I kind of put fear is the one way, right? And the other way is growth, right? So we have fear and we have growth at the why. So what happens is if I go the journey of fear, it's normally I stand still, I don't change, there's no accomplishment, there's no growth, there's nothing different. It's actually paralyzing. It makes me pull back more. So the more afraid I am, the more I normally recess back. And a lot of times when I talk about it, I get more afraid, so I pull back more. So the space from fear to growth, that gap widens. What's up, Mac? That gap widens from fear to growth. Now I could go to the growth side and I could ask myself, well, let me make a good calculated risk, right? I mean, for good job, brother, good job. For those of you that are new here inside my warrior circle with whatever we're at, 125 different members there, it's closing month. So we're closing things, closing deals, closing loops, closing accomplishments. It's a very motivational, and they're trying to win the Warrior Grenade Award, so you guys know. And Mac is closing. So awesome. Make sure you share what you're closing, brother, because you can't win if you're not sharing. So we have fear to the right. We have growth to the left. If we're not going towards what we're afraid of, it pulls us back. It makes us harder to go through growth versus stepping forward and say, let me take a calculated risk. Let me make sure I have a decision-making criteria or some way to go about what is my calculated risk. Like, what is the best thing? What's the worst case scenario? Right? What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case? Normally, when you really look at the worst case scenario, I mean, I'm talking about putting a magnifying glass on it. You take a magnifying glass and you put it really, and you look at it and ask yourself, well, what is the real consequence here? And you'll notice that the consequence is normally not as bad, the consequence, as the lack of growing is. Now, let's talk about solving things, because like Matt's on here, and I'm closing the win. End of story. Well, we'll see, David. We'll see, because we got a lot of big boys and women warriors playing full out on this one closing here. So let's talk about Matt Thompson. Matt Thompson says, my phone, right? So Mitsubishi has this theory. It's called the 5 whys, right? So why? So is it the phone? Why is it the phone? So Matt, if you're on here, let's see if you respond. So why the phone? And let's see what he says. I threw oranges in here today. Normally I have lemons. I needed a break from lemons, but lemons are good for fixing up your pH and stuff. So I've been drinking lemons for a while, but I need a little orange today. All right, so Matt, why the phone? We'll do the 5 whys. If someone else wants to jump in with something that is keeping them from getting from their level of freedom that you want to get, to do what you want, where you want, without any restrictions of time and money. So Matt, why the phone? Type it in. And if anybody else wants to put something on that's holding them back from getting freedom, put it in there now. This is what is keeping me from freedom. Because the first thing I learned is, it's funny. A lot of people, they're not really brave enough to share the problem or the issue. That's why everybody used to run around like, hey, how's business going? Oh, business is great. Yeah, business was never great, right? It sucked. It was never great. I was working to death, burning myself out. But I would tell everybody it was great. Because why? You don't ever want to look like a loser, so you become a liar. You know what I mean? And you don't look at yourself as telling a lie as a loser, but really, you're probably a loser because you're lying, when if you just told the truth, nah, it sucks. Things are going bad, then you can fix it. Okay, it's a distraction. So is the problem the phone? No. Why is it the phone? Well, it's a distraction. Okay, so why is it a distraction? So let's see, why is it a distraction? Pop it in there, Matt, and we'll see how the 5 whys ties this thing right down to a solution to add more freedom. Why is it a distraction? Or even better, why is it happening? Why is it happening? If this is helpful for the rest of you, like, give me thumbs up or something, because this 5 whys is what they would call another theory of, it's like pulling back the onion, right? A lot of times we're trying to solve the problem on the outside of the onion. The real problem's inside the onion, right? The real problem's the core of the onion. It's not the outside of the onion. So this 5 whys Mitsubishi has is peeling back the onion. I am working on staying away from it when I'm working or with the kids. Okay. So as you kind of look at this, Matt, and for sense of time, I'm going to dig into some things. So it's not really the phone. The phone's a tool, and the phone is a good tool. The problem with the phone is 2 things. I'm either teaching people, they're either teaching me how they'll use my phone, or I'm teaching them how to use my phone. And if they're teaching me, it's that whole serotonin hit that you get, right? Every time you check your phone, and ask your guys self something, like how many times just watching me in a minute have you already like clicked on your phone or something? Because you get that hit, that adrenaline hit every time you touch your phone. So the problem may not be the phone, it may be the boundaries around the phone. Because let's face it, today the technology is so cool, I can create autoresponders, right? Simple. So I can create my phone, even texting autoresponders. So I get a text, and it could automatically respond and say, hey, if you're one of our amazing employees, if you're in a real situation that's a level 5, do me a favor, text me back a 5. If not, I will check my messages tomorrow at 2 o'clock, right? I allow people to barge into whatever I'm doing, right? Because they're training you. They're training you, Matt. You're not training them. So I'll tell you, I was getting texts before, and I'm really clear on my communication with this. I was getting texts before from Rob and another warrior. They had me in on a group text. They were talking to each other. I said, hey guys, take me out of the text now. I'm clear, because it's interrupting me and I can't have that. So I take it out. So here's what I want you to do, Matt. And then if someone else wants to tackle something that's pulling their freedom, and thanks, Matt, for stepping up for this, serves everybody. Type in if you're dealing with something that's pulling your freedom, and we'll tackle it. So Matt, here's what I want you to do. 1, set boundaries. All right, hey guys, this is when you call, why you call, where you call, and what you should say when you call, okay? Number 2, I want you to set autoresponders. So I want you to build things on your, now if you ever call my cell phone, which I next to never answer, most of you know, never call my phone, I won't pick it up. It's a rule I have, don't pick up the phone, unless it's my wife or one of my directors or something. I just don't pick up the phone, ever, all right? You got to text me. So 1, I want you to have a message, and my message on my phone makes it pretty clear. Like if you call, I check my, you should send me an email, and I check my email twice a day, okay? Sometimes I don't, but normally I check them twice a day. So anybody gets the phone message, they're going to email me. They know I'm not going to get to it right away. I'm already training them how I do it. The next thing is set up an autoresponder on your email and on your text. So when someone sends you a text, it sends a response. Hey, by the way, if this is a 911 situation or you're in need, well, call 911 first. But if not, you just need me for a piece of information, then what I would like you to do, hang on one second, everybody. My wife probably doesn't know I'm doing a live call, but she was driving, so I'm just going to send her there so she knows I'm on. What's up, Brian? So now you have an autoresponder that says, hey, if it's a 911 situation, call 911. If it's a level 5 situation, do me a favor, tell me what it is and text me back level 5. If not, I respond to all text before the end of the night, 9 to 10 o'clock at night. So now I bracket and I bucket my things. Now, if you look at this, guys, as boxes, right? And the goal is, if you have boxes, right, you want to understand simple boxes. Those are maybe rectangles, I don't know, maybe bad squares, okay? But if you look at these boxes and ask yourself, so I want to have freedom boxes, right? So I'll put some F's in some of these boxes. I want to have freedom boxes, and those freedom boxes are, when I'm in my freedom box, I don't let anything enter in. So I have to categorize my unfreedom box, right? So I say to myself, so from 7 to maybe 9 a.m. and maybe from 4 to 5 p.m. And then maybe, for me, I like to check things at night because I don't start my next day ever unless I have a plan done the night before. And I normally do that about 10 to 11 p.m. So I have my 3 freedom boxes, and I have my 3 non-freedom boxes, or distraction boxes, or organization boxes, or task boxes, whatever you want to call it. And I'll make sure within those boxes, that's when people should bring me things, right? That's when people should bring me things, deliver things. I'm going to make calls. So I train people how we're going to be not just efficient for me, how we're going to be efficient together to get things done. Does that make sense? Like, hit me with a thumb, or is there a fist? I mean, what the hell's on this thing? Like, hit some kind of button, make something, throw me a heart or something, give me a little bit of love here or something, right? So this is what I figured out for freedom. Identifying the freedom that I want, okay? What does freedom really look like? Identifying what was taking my freedom away. What was stealing the freedom? What was pulling it? What was hurting my freedom? And the other thing is to put boxes in and teach people how to fit into the boxes. That's when I respond, that's when I answer, that's when I do work. So these things keep me organized. To own your freedom, first off, it's a choice. You're in charge. It's your decision. You just need to take on a new skill and a new habit and a new mindset, a little bit, a new mindset. All right, so let's tackle one more thing about freedom. So if someone else has one, pop in there if there's something that's pulling away freedom from you. Just put a one-liner in there, and we'll tackle it today. Matt, I hope that was helpful. And I want you guys to remember the 5 whys, right? Why? Why is it happening? Why now? Why me? You know, why is it this person? And you pull back the 5 whys. Thanks, brother. And then when you pull back the 5 whys, then it gets down to the root of it. And now I could look and solve the root. You see, so many people in business growing and stuff, and life growing. And I mean, look, guys, I don't have all the answers, but I have quite a few answers. I mean, I'm with my wife over 31 years. I figured out how to stay in a successful damn relationship, right? I learned how to stay in a successful relationship. I mean, service company did 30 million. We're buying a bunch of companies this year we're looking at. We're going to do well over 30 million this year. You know, so I've learned how to create successful business. I learned how to create successful people, right? We have CEO Warrior. We're working with over 125 different companies all around the United States and Australia and Canada and New Zealand, because I learned that there's fundamental changes and things that if people change those things, everything changes. Everything changes. So here's the thing you want to know. You're very welcome, brother. There is a formula to success. There's a formula, but here's the part. It's not the surface where the formula is. The formula is inside. It's the gears in the clock that make the clock turn. It's not the hands. It's behind the hands, right? It's behind the hands. And you got to go behind the hands to figure that stuff out. And then, and only then, can you change it. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to share my pet peeve. I haven't talked about it in a while. My pet peeve is this, Michelle. My pet peeve is, it's not a one-size-fits-all, because everything and everyone is very individualized. Everyone and everything is stuck in their own little area. So that's why it's important to peel the onion, because the problem's not the surface. People come in, oh, you're not making enough sales. It's probably your guy needs sales training. Well, I don't know. Let's peel back the onion. As I peel back the onion, is it the right type of customer? Is it the right type of marketing? Is it the right pricing structure? Is it the right equipment and material? Is it the right time? I mean, do I have the right options? And then I get to the person who communicates it. It's very rarely the problem with the person on sales. The problem's with the system before the sales. It's everything else that caused it. And you only know that when you peel back the onion. The world is filled with people trying to, oh, you need leads, more customers, oh, I'll get it for you. Well, I don't know. Is that really the problem, you need more customers? Is it really one solution to get more customers? I mean, it's so much deeper than that. What's up, Tom? Have to learn to ask good questions. Absolutely. Let's see. I think Jeremiah was asking, what do you do to stay so energized? Not staying energized seems like a freedom trap. So look, energized is an interesting thing. I'm very energized right now, but I'm very calm right now. I'm in a very kind of Zen mode. So along with freedom or energizing is really more, Jeremiah, understanding emotions and the emotion you're in, and is that the emotion you want to be in by choice? Sometimes people see me wild, I'm swinging a sword and a knife, and tonight I'll be doing Muay Thai training at 7:30 tonight with the trainer at my house. You know, I'll be on a whole nother level of intensity. But I understand my levels of intensity, and then I ask myself, is that the intensity I need right now to serve me and to serve others right now? So actually, this is a very calm, it's a very intense, very focused energy I have right now for you. And so I understand that that's the energy that I want, and it's an energy by choice. What's up, Jim? Nice to see you, brother. So I know my energy, and this is an energy by choice. So, you know, it's like this. It's like people saying, oh, you're not positive. I don't know if they're positive or not. I mean, maybe not by my standard, but what if they're very positive? What if that's positive for them? You know, it's like you're not any certain person, so you don't really know. You can guess, you can make a judgment, but you don't know for sure. So Jeremiah, make sure you ask yourself, when I'm walking through, when I get up in the morning, when I'm training my dojo, or I'm at the business, or I'm in a coaching, or next week we'll have our 4-day Fast Track Academy with 70 people in this building. Well, I'm going to choose my level of energy, and I know the level of energy I want, I need, and to get and to deliver people from the space they're at to where I want them to go. So it's a conscious choice for me. Maybe not at first. Well, most of the time it is because I'm planning ahead. But like right now, if I said to myself, which actually after this, and I'm going to go in a couple minutes, we'll all jump off. I'm going to go with my team, and we're going to do a check off on our check off sheet for everything's for next week's Warrior Fast Track Academy. Right? Or all the books, the tables. I mean, there's so many damn logistics for an event like this when you have 70 people coming in, and the shuttles, and the food, and the vendors that are coming in, and the marketing pieces, and the book. I mean, there's hundreds of pieces, right? So I don't need an intense energy. I need a focused energy. So I'll make sure that I bring a level of focus. If I go in there, I'm like, yeah, everybody, okay, let's do the checkoff sheet. They're like, okay, well, that energy doesn't meet the need. So people are like, what the? You know what that's like, right? When you get someone who's so like this and you're like, whoa, the energy doesn't meet the need. So it's like, yeah, I get it, but like, it's so weird, right? Now, it doesn't mean they have to be like everybody else, but that energy just doesn't match the situation. So it's kind of weird. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just leave you alone, because now instead of, magnetizing and pulling together, we repel, we push each other away. Mike is unstoppable warrior that only accepts for being the best. Yes, absolutely, I only accept the best. Because look, Justin, as you know, the world is very complacent with people being complacent, right? The world is very easy to just let people socially flounder, right? The world is not challenging people. I mean, let's just talk to the men a minute. So ladies, Michelle, hold your ears. Savannah, everybody, women, hold your ears a minute. you know, here's the deal with men. Men need to step the fuck up and be men. You know what I mean? They need to be men. Not men that are whiners and complainers. You know, I was saying it this morning, like, you know, there's a lot of men that eat baby food. You know, they eat baby food. They're not eating man's food. They're not eating steak. Men are being, you know, and the calling's there today. You know, the calling's there, the awakening's there, the people are there, the coaches are there. I mean, the opportunity's there. The man needs to step up and be the man. Take care of the women. Be the protectors of the world. What's up, brother? Bill Miller in the house. What's happening? You know, because this is what needs to happen today. But it's been so easy for men to be complacent and lazy and back and I don't in, and they complain and they whine, and it's ridiculous today. And, you know, that's not acceptable in my world. You know, even in my world, some men step in and, you know, eventually they say, I don't know if this is a fit, Mike. You know, maybe I'm done or I'm going to move on. I'm like, good, I know what it is. You don't want to be challenged as a man anymore. You don't want to be challenged on a regular basis. But let me tell you something. You're either leading by example or you're not. You know what I mean? Men come here to go metal, to follow, you know, and work for us because it's led by men. Led by strong people, me and Rob and the directors. That's how people want to be led. They don't want to be led by people who just complain and whine. So men, you got your message. Now ladies, you could take your hands off your ears. Ladies need to be ladies. They need to be allowed to be their beautiful self. They need to be allowed to feel it's okay not to have to be the aggressive lion, to let the man be the lion and the woman to be the lioness. And they need to know it's okay that strength is in the beauty. Strength is not in the voice of trying to be aggressive or loud or something that they shouldn't be. Now look, this isn't everybody's belief. It's just my belief. I'm an opinion of one. If you like it, you use it. If you don't do anything with it. But as the man steps up to be the man, or whoever chooses to be that masculine, strong image of power, the woman will become more powerful. Not sedated. It's not about a sedated woman or sedated man to, you know, they just go, You see the world, right? Go sit at the mall. Me and my wife, I'm not eating ice cream right now because we're barely eating any dairy, and I haven't eaten gluten in 5 years, and I haven't had caffeine in 4+ years, and I never drank coffee, and I've never done alcohol my entire life. I've never done drugs. I've never smoked cigarettes my whole life. But one of the things that I guess me and my wife got to find something else to do, we'd sit outside Walgreens and eat ice cream, and I used to love it. Chocolate chip mint, go to Rita's over there or something. Chocolate mint ice cream with rainbow sprinkles, yum. And you just watch people, and it's just this sedated kind of just like, you know, I tell everybody who doesn't like watching The Walking Dead, you don't have a choice. You're watching it every day. I mean, look at it. You just look outside and people are just walking. No pulse, no energy, no power, no strength, no endurance, no intensity, no sense of urgency. They're just kind of like, right? And you're, it's Monday. I'm like, are you kidding me? You need to be punched in the face. And then Friday, thank God it's Friday. I'm like, what was so hard for you? What was so difficult? Most of you went in at 9 o'clock. You were home at 5 eating potato chips on your couch watching American Idol and shit. Like, I don't even understand. What was so difficult? What was so difficult for you this week? You know what I mean? No, it's Monday. And then thank God it's Wednesday. Week's almost over. I'm like, oh man, what a lack of power. Like, just gain it back. You know, gain it back. Women are powerful with a man lion to back her up. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there's a couple theories to that. You know, some think the man walks in front of the woman. Some people believe the man walks behind the woman. I'll walk wherever it takes to walk to be the protector of the woman. That's it. That's just my belief. Sometimes I walk behind because I'm looking, if anything steps in front, I jump over and eat its face. I mean, that's the reality of it, right? So I'll leave you guys with this about freedom and my hopes for you. My hopes are for you. And if I could ever help you in any way, or please, if you know, I posted it the other day, only one person stepped up. If you know a contractor, a service business of any kind that's struggling, they may not be able to afford to come hang out at my 4-day event. I'll be honored to send them a free book on me. I'll pay for postage and everything just to help them out. So if you know anybody that's in pain of any kind in a business that I could send something to give them maybe hopes or help their family, please let me do it. I send out probably, I don't know, $15,000 to $20,000 worth of free stuff every single year to contractors to help them out. This is my mission that I'm on, is to save men from themselves and save businesses and allow business owners and women business owners to be able to run a business, because we are the pillar. We are the pillar of this earth. And even though we're not looked at like that all the time as business owners, the fact is we are. Business owners are what protects this universe as far as I'm concerned. So if you know a service business, I don't care if it's painting, landscaping, chiropractic, anybody in the service business that's struggling or you think could use a smile or a hand or some insight, please let them know. Get them to one of these things for me and let me know, and I'll send a free book out to them and help them out. Here's what I'd like you to leave with some instructions, everybody. Maybe a little bit of homework or guidance, or maybe just some fun or something you could do with your kids is, sit down and paint the vision that the freedom vision that you really want. See it as it's real, step into it, plan it out, identify it, use the whys to solve what is holding back your freedom. As I'm going to tell you what, the minute, I'm a free guy, right? I know there's a lot of tattooed people in the world, but I'm a free guy, and I love freedom, and I love just to be the way I am and wear what I want to wear, and I'm not worried about what anybody thinks. And I hope that you can get there too, where you could just be free for your true beliefs, whatever you believe in, and there's no judgments from me. Whatever you believe is perfectly fine. So make sure you peel back the onion, and anything that's stopping those beliefs, that freedom, the freedom of speech, freedom of energy, or freedom of just being yourself, or freedom of power, just sit there and ask yourself, right? And here's the thing, I'll leave you with this before I go. First off, have an amazing weekend with whatever you do, and look, I did it, and so can you. So take the wisdom, and if anything, if you don't use it, do me a favor, pass this video on and give it to somebody that it can serve today. Boom, I'm out. Have a warrior strong, a warrior unstoppable, and an epic 2017. Boom.